What's up? What's up? What's up?
First of all, let me get this out of the way. Let me give a shout out to my daughter-in-law, Miss Kirsten. It was her birthday this weekend. So I know happy birthday to you this weekend.
Happy birthday.
Had a great time. Simon and Kirsten, yes. Thank you. You got your shout out on our show. So millions of people just heard what I just said.
Millions and millions and millions.
Speak that.
Happy birthday, Kirsten Rollins.
How you doing, man?
Hey, man, life is good. Guys, I have sugar. I'm not sure about diabetes yet, but I have sugar. I know that. So it was a couple weeks ago. I had to change my diet. I've been eating a little bit more healthy, a lot less carbohydrates. I have to watch the bread I'm eating, so I'm into whole wheat now instead of good tasting bread. I can't eat as much fruit even as I used to eat, but so I had a really good meal today. I wish I could show you the picture of the meal I had today for lunch, but it's beautiful, just beautiful. But other than that, man, things are great. I had a great weekend. Church was great. People are great.
That's a typical black expression. I got sugar. What?
I got sugar.
Not diabetes or pre-diabetes. I got sugar.
Stay away from the sugar, but you know what? I got some good chicken.
But chicken is good. Chicken isn't causing sugar to raise. So I eat a lot of chicken, a lot of fish. Woo. You get to eat that, but no more hamburgers, so no more McDonald's, no more because you can't eat the bread. The bread is the real big thing. So anything with a lot of starch, a lot of carbohydrates, that's what causes sugar to go up rapidly, actually. Because not even it doesn't make a difference if your sugar goes up slowly, it's if your sugar goes up quickly, because it doesn't come down quickly. Right. So you have to watch what you eat so your sugar doesn't rise quickly. So I'm learning all this stuff on the fly. So
but you can also use whole wheat bread.
I do use whole wheat. You can't use regular wheat.
There you
go. You have to use whole wheat. Exactly. Or multi-grain. You can use either of those, but you can't use wheat or we should have a sugar show one day. Just talk about
sugar show. No, we're not. We're not that kind of sugar. No. I'm gonna tell you. Offline.
I will not be on that show. You talking about sugar? No.
Forget that.
I'm not talking about that type of sugar. Let's not go that type of
sugar show.
You don't know. You better ask somebody.
Man, see where you guys said that? That's where you guys said that. That's what you guys are thinking. That's what you guys thinking. That's what you're in sugar. Oh my God. So when somebody says to you, sitting at the table, passing sugar, you go, I'm not passing no sugar to you. I'm not passing no sugar.
Oh my God.
Oh man. My weekend was great. Of course, I've been spending the weekend working on more props for an upcoming production. Why Question God, which will be on October the 19th. Tickets are only 15. Was it 20? I think 20 bucks. Dynamic production is coming up in October. You don't want to miss it. So that's what I'm working on this weekend. Got sore in the process. Realized I can't do some things that I used to could do, but you know what?
Bad back.
The show must go on.
Bad back.
Hey, so I even had on a back brace and it still didn't work.
If we pay 50, do I get the tickets and a dinner at the Brodus's? Is that what happens if I pay 50?
We can talk about that offline.
Yeah, offline, please.
Talk about that offline.
50. What you want? 2 dinners and what? Dessert?
You want vegan?
Yeah.
We'll serve you a vegan dinner
right now.
And I'll have a vegan chef cooking for you by the name of
Holly Brodus.
Oh my Lord. Oh goodness. Okay, but Simon, how was your weekend, Simon?
It was I guess a very sporty weekend because I had to be at every home game at the Orioles this week from Tuesday all the way to Sunday. So wearing the orange all week. And apart from Kirsten's birthday weekend, let me see. I'm gonna make sure. I know this week I was gonna travel so far to a travel game for watch my granddaughter Samara play her volleyball game at McDonough. So I can prepare for that. But it was a good week for sports. My local team, Birmingham City, top of the league. Okay, and
top of which league?
Anyway, let's talk about. You don't want to talk about football. I know that, Rupert.
But hey,
You don't wanna
hey,
talk
man,
about
we're the
football.
same record. We're the same record. I don't care. We're the same
You're
record.
welcome.
Same
Hi,
record.
Larry Hudson. Hi, Kaylin.
Same record.
And what's it? And hi, Pastor Rodney. How you all doing? It's good to hear from you and see you. Appreciate you all. Thank you very much.
Will you guys? Hey, so question before we
But
get
apart
on.
from that, emotionally, I'm good.
Well, speaking of, that's tonight's show.
Oh,
Managing
Whoa.
emotions.
woo!
But before we get into that,
Yes,
I thought-
it's time. The millions of viewers I was talking about. Please subscribe, push the button, and like us. Even if you don't like us, unlike the unlike and like us. Just push it. There's the phone. Just push the button. We appreciate you all and we love you all. Thank you very much.
so let's get into that managing emotions because
Ooh.
emotions can fall under this huge umbrella. So we can come from different aspects of it. I mean, one of the major ones, since we're in sports season, managing emotions when it comes to your team when they lose, right, Rupert? Managing emotions. I saw this one thing where this one guy, because Dallas lost, were throwing stuff out the window, busting up the TV and all that. I'm like, dude, it's not that serious. At the end of the day, now you have a busted widescreen TV. You demolish your house because a team you rooted for that's not paying your bills, nor feeding you, and yet you go off crazy. Come on, manage your emotions.
Yeah, well, okay.
Oh, wait a minute. I think he's about to say something.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to put mine in first because I can see that it's going to be a
It look a little steamy over there. Look at it. I see smoke coming from over that way.
Emotion when it comes to sports, and I can also say cultural difference also.
Yeah.
There's a big cultural difference with emotions, and maybe people in Europe, other countries, take their sports way more serious. No, I'm not saying they don't take sports serious here, but the emotions, and when you watch sports in Europe, it's like they live it, they in it. It's because the team is invested in their city, and the city's invested in their team. So now I'm not talking about.
We'll get to those in a moment.
We get to those. I'm sorry. Yeah. So emotionally, and I'll just say for myself, growing up playing soccer and even watching it at my early age, woo, did I hate to lose. Oh my, you could not talk to me. I mean, I wasn't fighting nobody. I was just in a mode where it just hurt.
So you need therapy.
Yes, I did. It was called the couch. Don't move. Yes, couch. And so you got too much invested. Now, completely now it's different. Now, I'm not going to say I don't get upset, but it's all bottled in, especially when you lose, like, oh my God, I know you didn't do that. Oh, goodness. Great. Yeah, so it even shows on the soccer golf. I ain't losing, bro.
Anyway, Rupert, you about to say?
Go ahead, Rupert.
So we're not only talking about managing emotions on a loss, we're also talking on victories because
exactly the joy,
because it's not just sports; it's just managing your emotions.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that because we got emotions in church too.
So please send in your comments and your questions as you know how our show goes. We love to talk about this stuff, even when Dallas Cowboys lose. And I've been losing for 20 some odd years. So it's been a while since I can say Dallas Cowboys have been victorious. But I don't think anyone should go overboard. But I can understand it if you do. Because like Simon said, and Mark will get to you, but like Simon said, people get emotional because of the investment that you have in the team. It's when you're a fan, you really do sometimes put a lot into that team. Like you see some people have rooms where that room is decorated with that team they enjoy. Like posters and bobbleheads and footballs. And you see it. I went to this game and they get the tickets left over from the ticket stubs. You have people who follow concert. There's people who go on a concert. I know this one guy who took off of work for 2 years. He told me, this was when he was younger, took off for 2 years to follow the Grateful Dead. 2 years. Every place they went to, he went to every concert. Now you're in the same songs over and over again, but you become so invested, you become the word fanatic. And
because as you said that, you said the Grateful Dead. Yeah, no, we had the Bruce Springsteen concert at Camden Yards. There was people lined up the day before. 18 hours before the concert. They were lined up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you couldn't tell them they were wrong.
But Grateful Dead, they camped out. They're called Deadheads. They will camp out for
Grateful
days.
Dead, yeah.
Crazy. And when Michael Jackson, him too, when he was alive, my God, people. Let's just go to Star Wars. Have you ever seen when the new Star Wars movie comes out?
Yes. Those Trekkies are crazy.
Yep.
Oh my God.
They're crazy.
We got Trekkies in the church.
Insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. So people get caught up in love with these things. And so now emotions play.
Well, I do have to confess, because when Man United lose, I do get emotional.
Yeah,
and I remember one time I said, I'm just going to throw all my Man United stuff. But he goes, you got too much. You're not going to throw it away. I was just that mad. I was like, I'm getting tired. Yes, my wife is correct. She says, sometimes my housemate becomes very emotional during a soccer game. Yes, I do. During soccer season. Yes, I do. Because when they play a team that they're supposed to win against and they don't, I shut the TV off sometimes, just walk away.
I'm crying.
I digress.
I love Man U, but I don't think I'm that invested in them as I am with the Cowboys. I think I'm more invested.
I'm very invested in Man U.
With the Cowboys. I think it's the Cowboys, Man U, then the Sixers for me. Those are the three orders of my sport teams that I go. Because I don't get as mad with Man U as I did with the Dallas Cowboys. And I believe this might be why that guy threw the TV out, because he might have had a bet.
Well, to your point, those who have that emotion when it comes to losing their money, gambling.
Whoa.
I mean, that right there, you put up all this money in those slots or casinos or what have you, going in and think you're going to win a lot of money. And you come out, realize you lost your mortgage, you lost your car payment, you lost your kids' tuition, you lost everything. How do you manage your emotion when it comes to that?
Yeah, but even if you look at FanDuel right now, I mean, I don't know if anyone knows how that works, but with FanDuel, you have choices. And that will tell you, just for instance, do you think Messi will score today? And now you know the very high percentage of everyone's going to say yes. So you get a certain amount of money on that. And then they'll go to football, and then they'll say, do you think the Chiefs will beat the Bills today or whatever? You think? So you have like 3 things that you can choose from. And then they make it so enticing and make it look like so easy, because that team at the same time may be on the high. And you be going, yeah, I can do that. And then you put a certain amount of money, and next minute you know, because one person didn't do what they were supposed to do. And you ain't gonna win.
You ever watch those people at the horse races? They go crazy. They go crazy at those horse races, because they're like, go Seabiscuit, whatever horse may be, and all of a sudden you see that they lose.
Seabiscuit.
They're like,
you watch the movie?
I'm just saying in general.
What?
Their facial expression just goes like numb, because they put everything on that one horse, and that horse did not come through.
And so, like we said, we know that emotions can go from anything, everywhere. It's so widespan. So anything that you have, you can put in. It doesn't have to be sports. It doesn't have to be. But we know that it's very, very broad, and people's emotions are good and bad, whatever. So
because when you got those wrong kind of emotions, it bring about stress, anxiety. You do have good emotions, but a lot of times you see more of the negative emotions out here today.
But you can get emotionally caught up in something and then hurt somebody or do something you shouldn't have done because of your 5-second emotional experience, and then you regret because you really didn't want to do what you did, but you regret it because you got caught up in that emotion.
I mean, like this presidential election is coming up. A lot of emotions are going on right now.
That there's going to be a lot of lost emotion and confused emotion, no matter who wins.
No, there was a guy that came into the Oriole game. I'll just say this: he came with a T-shirt on, and he had a T-shirt of MAGA rules, MAGA rules, and he had two hands with a bird, giving the bird to everybody. Yeah, he came in. So the steward says, you either have to turn your shirt inside out, or take it off, because if you don't, you're not staying here. He says, well, I ain't taking my shirt off. In 3 minutes, security escorted him out.
Wow.
Because he could have incited something right there and then. But they didn't think it was all right. So he was emotionally stressed when he was outside instead of inside the car.
Yeah, but it's that going too far. That's what emotions does.
Exactly.
Right? It takes sometimes you go too far. You love something so much that you go too far. I mean, there are people that are emotionally in love and over. I don't know if you can say over, but are so crazed that they go too far, especially when the person doesn't love them back. They go too far, stalking, all sorts of stuff.
Relationship emotion, yes.
Yeah, you have to watch your emotions, and you have to keep your emotions in check, because, like you said, you could end up hurting somebody or hurting yourself. People have killed themselves because of the emotional ties to certain things. So it gets to be quite crazy. But let's answer this. I don't know if you guys mind, but can we bring this question in?
Sure, go ahead.
It does become a good question.
And before you do, Anne, she did put one up there. She said Ravens for life, about 2-1 up. She did say that.
Yeah,
yes, we're not bypassing that. I got you, Anne. I saw it.
Put that in, but
I saw it.
Their life is only for a short span of time for life. All right.
Oh, she's coming for you. So does it become an idol when you go overboard? So some people are like that.
Yeah.
But does it become an idol? Does it become an idol? So we're kind of getting to the religious mindset of what an idol is, right? So an idol is something that you worship over God.
Yeah.
Or anything that you worship, right? Not even has to be over God, but anything that you worship. So I think when you're overboard, you're past that already. I think it's already been an idol. Now you're overboard, because now you become that. Now that idol becomes everything to you. So I think if you got to the point where you're doing things overboard, that is already an idol for you. That's like the guy who washes his car every time after it rains. It rains, I'm out there washing my car. Oh my God, it rained again. Oh, gotta wash it again. It's that thing where you love your car to be so shiny and look so clean that you are now doing overboard. You can't go another day after the rain. If it rains 3 days in a row, you're out there washing your car 3 days in a row. Wow. So I think that's the case. I think that's, for my opinion, that once it gets overboard, it's past idle. Now you're in danger zone.
Well, that's a good point, because what you said earlier about when you go overboard, let's go back in the day before. Place where you used to work. Remember, they used the expression, someone's gone postal, because to the fact of how that's when they cloned that phrase, because it was in that arena that most people were being hurt because of disgruntled employees. They would come in very emotional about whatever took place, and they would take everybody out. So that's where that phrase came from, because it basically started more or less in that industry.
Thank you, sir. I really forgot about that. I forgot that phrase.
I didn't forget
going postal.
I didn't forget it. No,
I never forgot it neither. But anyway, but it's a true saying. And being in there, I can really understand. And I know all jobs, if you're leaving your house and you're already emotionally stressed or whatever, then you go into work and you file in your mail, and the supervisor come behind you and say, I need you in the office, and you go in the office. Well, you was late this day, you was late that day. Now you like, not really? Okay. So next minute, we filing mail, and you can hear them in the office. It's like, wow, because everybody getting loud. So you picked the wrong time to get eventually a good worker at a wrong time, and the emotions wasn't controlled on both sides.
Yeah. So and sometimes this is the fact that what they're going through, because life brings that kind of stuff up, right? If you have a mortgage, if you have kids, if you have all those things, and suddenly you're laid off and you're wondering, how am I going to make ends meet? This is my job. And then you're already mad because maybe they pass you up on promotions that you thought you should have gotten. Now, all these things come together and they're laying you off. And then there's that person over there who doesn't do jack, is stay in their job. You come back, you come back with an AK-47 ready to shoot everybody. But guess what? All them people, they didn't fire you. You didn't get fired, bro.
But you don't see that.
No, you don't. You're blind because your emotions have taken over. Your emotions have taken over. And where you just maybe want to scare somebody, you end up going crazy. The kids going to schools now shooting up people. It's crazy. You don't go a week now. There's not a week that goes by where there's not a threat, where there's not an actual shooting. Oh, every week this is happening. And it's mainly because the emotions of these kids get caught up. Sometimes they feel that they're being disrespected or whatever it may be. But you're 12 years old. Your parent is parenting you, or your teachers are teaching you.
Right.
But no longer do we have parents at home. Now everything is your TV, your phone. That's your new parent now for a lot of these kids. So it becomes very, very ugly. Let's move on.
Oh boy. Oh boy, you want me to do this, man?
You can do it.
Okay.
She's telling the truth.
So Holly goes, this is Holly. She says, just before I'm making my vegan food, the time I literally rushed downstairs to see if my dad was all right after he yelled, all to find out that he was just watching a soccer game.
Why you gonna put me on blast, Holly? Why
He
you putting me on blast?
He didn't deny it.
I'm not denying it.
And that's a common thing. I mean, how many times have we stood up and go, why would you do that?
Right.
Or why didn't you do that? Oh, now you're going back to your old ways. Oh my gosh.
I tell you, you know what it reminds me of me and my dad watching wrestling or boxing. And my dad is screaming at the wrestlers.
Yeah.
I'm like, what, Dad? They can't hear you.
That's the thing about they can't hear us, but we're still yelling at them.
And even if we win, we're not getting paid. But
Right.
but that's what I'm saying. That there's a lot of people know that they're not getting paid. But like I said at the beginning, when they invested in town and team and town, it's like it's your team, and it's like I know. Oh, I should be your coach, and you're really not. So
I should coach you. I have enough skill to coach you.
Yeah.
I remember holding Sophie when she was baby. She might have been a year or two old. And I remember she was sleeping and I was watching a game and she woke up, screaming. I'm like, oh, sorry, sorry. Go back to sleep. Go back to sleep. we get way caught up.
When Sabrina was at a softball game, Sabrina learned how to shut everything out and play the game. So Rachel is up there going, go ahead, you go ahead, Sabrina, you go ahead, get on first base, go on first base. And I'm going, she can't hear you. And she said, yes, she can, I was like, she can't hear you. And when after the game she comes up, she said, tell your dad that you heard me screaming. And she goes, when? When? See, but that's when you're in the game, you see your emotions, how you have to control in the game, especially when you're not getting the calls or especially or whatever. But outside of that, on both sides, and you know parents are bad these days, watching their kids play.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. Whatever about them Eagles, whatever. Anyway.
Now keep trying to start.
Really?
What? Anyway, but when you were talking about I remember when Anita was going in labor with our first, and that emotion that I felt, I know she's probably going to chime on this. She drove to the hospital. She said, "Oh, do not hit any bumps." I hit basically every single bump in the road. Boom, boom, boom. We get to the hospital. Here it is. My wife is having contractions. I see a high school buddy of mine. I stopped to talk to him. Instead of getting her into the hospital, I stopped to talk. Man, my emotions were all over the place. I didn't know what to do. So I stopped to talk to him. She's like, get in the hospital. So I finally got her into the hospital. But I got paid back because when her contractions were going and she was holding my hand, I never knew how strong my wife was or is when she squeezed my hand when that I was like,
They
It was like
turned
payback.
super women, man.
My emotions was all over the place with our firstborn. I tell you,
They
I'm
turned
surprised you
into
didn't
super
chime in
women.
on that one yet.
They turned into super women. That's all I gotta say.
Yes.
But that's a different show.
Yes.
But they
Super
definitely
great.
turned to super women. They are super.
But you know,
strong.
men's emotions change when you have children. I mean, those who don't normally cry will cry. I mean, the first, I did not cut her umbilical cord, but the second one, I was like, yeah, I got this. The first one, I couldn't do it.
Well, yeah, I got in trouble for that because, I got in trouble because I cut all 3 umbilical cords, but I had tears in my eyes when Simon was born. The son that father. Yeah. Then they made him know and said, well, why did you? Look, I love all 3 of them the same. I really do. And I'm sure they're going to get on and say, but I love all 3 of them the same. But I had a tear in my eye for the son part. God, son. Oh, yeah. So, I got in trouble. Man. I admit it. Yes. No, I don't apologize for that moment. But I still love 3 of the same. The same.
Because the relationship emotions are strong.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What?
Okay. Y'all take this one. I'm going to leave.
What about wearing jerseys to church? Is it necessary to... Okay, I'll say show, but you put shoe. How compassionate you are about your team. But most times we wear our jerseys to church. It's either if we're working or there's nobody there, or if there's a time where everybody wear your team colors or whatever.
Some relaxed churches that wear.
Oh, you chilling? Yes.
You know, and a lot of us believe there should be an entire thought when you come before in the presence of God, right? We have that thought. But there's some that think that God takes, when the Bible says come as you are, they think it's forever. And I'm not going to say yay or nay, but I know my preference is to take thought in what you wear to church. That's my preference. Take some thought.
I agree with that statement.
Before you come to church, and you should really think about what you're wearing. Sometimes you can be, sometimes the pastor says, hey, this Sundays are relaxed, come relaxed. Yeah. And if you think
sometimes we may have a purple Sunday. And so even though we have made a purple Sunday, and they all say those who not going to wear purple, just wear what you got to wear. And so some people just come with commandos and all that stuff. Commandos and not commanders, but
you had one job to do Sunday and you did it for me, so I can't say anything.
Appreciate you.
I can't say anything. You had one job, you did it. All right.
But yeah, but I think that emotionally, right, you have to be careful because even in church, and we haven't even got to the emotions in church, but I think even in church, people sometimes go overboard emotionally, not when it comes to worshiping God, but I think they become emotional to their pastor or to a certain office, a certain ministry they're a part of, right? They become over emotional. Whereas in, like, for instance, I know if my sister's listening, she's a superintendent of Sunday school. If I say anything about Sunday school, she comes at me. And I'm like, everything has to be talked about, right? We have to break it down. And because you become so invested in it, that you sometimes go a little bit overboard. You get too invested in that. You forget that it's a ministry. It doesn't belong to you. It belongs to God.
Okay, we got to go public service announcement real quick.
Yeah.
While he's doing this presto change-o.
It's 8:00 already. Oh my goodness gracious. Millions of people push the button, subscribe, and like. And do it emotionally.
Press it hard.
Because you have to.
Really hard.
Really hard. Please get your emotions involved in pushing that button because you have to. Thank you.
No light pushing.
Said about the emotions in the church real quick. That was key because some people emotions that if the pastor's not there, I'm not coming to church.
Wait, that happens in Baltimore too?
I think it happens everywhere.
What?
But if the pastor's not there, I'm not coming to church. And that emotion to me is like kind of twisted.
And at the same time also, and I think we have the advantage because we're at church first. And then, of course, everybody doesn't come to church in a happy mood. And sometimes they don't even feel like talking. They don't feel like doing this. And if you say a wrong word, all of a sudden, oh no, I'm fine. I'm good. Oh, okay. Have a good day. Enjoy service. just go ahead. But then at the same time, we also have to train ourselves that when someone's in that emotional state,
Yes.
we got to be courteous enough and in the right mind not to gas the fire or gas the light and make it worse than what it is. So that's the part we have to understand too, how we got to handle ours and other people's emotions.
That's true, but back to Mark's point about,
go ahead.
That's crazy, because that is so true. It happens everywhere, and I don't know if it's an emotional connection to the past or a lack of emotion to really the purpose of the Word of God, right? A donkey can cry out for God if you want to sit there and listen close enough, and God do what He does. But we get so caught up. Like I know a church that we fellowshipped with. If you could be on fire, and they're just giving you a little like, hey, amen. But as soon as their pastor said, the pastor can say boogie oogie woogie, and they go crazy. I'm like, you're losing the focus. So that's over emotional contact and under emotional of what's going on. That's crazy. And to Simon's point, yeah, people come in and sometimes they're over emotional about their day. And it's hard for you because you want to say, even if you say, can I pray for you? No, I'm good. Really? Okay. How good are you? Because you don't sound it.
Right. And you can't say that. But a good emotion is sometimes when we see the seniors, when they come to church and they say to us, I have to come to church.
Yes.
And then, they're saying, I have to. I know that my knee's hurting, my back is hurting. They're all hurting, whatever that's hurting.
But they're there.
But they always say, but I have to come because I have to be here.
Right.
That
speaks volume.
Yeah, it does. It speaks a lot of volume on where your mindset is also.
Yeah.
Is that I have to be there.
And that's a positive, good emotion.
The positive part, yes.
Yeah, definitely. And they're doing it because they have to be in the house of worship. They're not worried about who's there, who's not there. So I got to be in the house of worship. So yeah, definitely. If I don't get this question up, Ken's going to go crazy. Oh, you missed my question. All right. Gentlemen.
We call this gentleman. Go ahead. Go ahead, Rupert.
Emotions are, I know what that word is. Ephemeral.
Ephemeral. Ephemeral. It sounds like a medicine, man, that you take.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't act on them. You just will chase your tail too. We are men. Why are we talking about emotions? Because we're men. So any man who doesn't know about his emotions isn't a real.
Isn't that a major issue too? Isn't that a major problem that
if a man can't identify their own emotion, they got a problem?
Yeah,
because every human being has emotion.
Yeah, any man that doesn't recognize emotion is not a man. The Bible speaks and says that Jesus wept. That was emotion.
Exactly.
Jesus prayed at the Garden of Gethsemane because he had to sacrifice life. That was an emotion. Jesus loved us so much that he gave his life. Love is an emotion. So if you don't have an emotion, especially as a man of God, and always sometimes your parents might have taught you men don't cry, men don't do this.
I was about to say that.
Yes, they lie.
That's not accurate. Men cry, men weep. If something happens to my wife, if something happens to my children, I will weep. I will cry. If something happens to my friends, I will weep. I will cry. I remember Simon was going through something at convocation, and Mark, I know you wept. I wept with him because he's our friend. Right. And if you are connected to somebody, and the Bible says we should feel each other's emotions. We should, if your joy is my joy, your pain is my pain. So my brother. That's why we're talking about emotions. Oh, hallelujah. Somebody say.
Well, I would be upset if Ken didn't get his ackee and saltfish and his beef patty. So I'll be upset if he didn't get it.
I know he'd be emotional about it.
He'd be emotional too. I know he was
emotional about it. Yes, he would.
If he burnt that rice cookie.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, he would.
Some people have intense emotions over politics and political. Well, that's a yes. I mean,
That's a given.
yeah, we know that.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that, right?
Yes, we
after
did.
the election, we don't know what's going to happen. Prepare
The
people.
violence, yes.
Prepare people.
Hey, Anita.
Oh! Whoa! Hey, Anita.
Because I was going out after church. LOL. I did pray that I wasn't disturbing anyone. Please forgive me. Oops. Well,
I know somewhere we have a bubble, but we're just going to keep going.
Somebody's in trouble.
Just terrible. Laugh out loud, shaking my head. I made you a father. Laugh out loud.
Don't I call you princess? What in God's name? Don't you know what?
Good job, Simone.
Didn't I just pick up your grandson?
Oh, don't throw that at her. Come on, Simone, get him.
Wait, Simone was just saying, I made you a father and you didn't cry. But your son came and you cried. That's crazy. What emotion did you have when you were born?
I was very happy and joyful.
Yeah, you were happy and joyful, right?
And I kissed her on the forehead. I was tickling her toes. I was really, really happy.
You traumatized.
Yeah, I must have traumatized myself.
I only have one natural son. I have one natural daughter, and I have three, other children. But my natural, I remember when she was born, the emotions that stir up. I don't remember if I cried. I have to ask my wife. I don't remember if I cried, but I'll tell you this: I was more in shock on the first birth because I didn't realize that. Like I'm looking at like. I didn't realize her coming out because you're watching, you're doing all these things and you don't have time to really I'm more amazed than anything, I think. So I think maybe that's why I didn't cry. But the second one, you're like, okay, I know what's going to happen. Now I'm stirred up with emotion. I'm trying to help you out there, buddy.
We got a lot of questions.
Yeah, we got a lot of questions.
I got to see where you are. Where'd I end?
We left off with Simone.
Yeah. So it's now ends.
It says, you gotta laugh to keep light.
And that's what we do here. That's what we do. I do, however, have to take a brisk walk after.
I agree, Ann.
Go ahead, Ann.
I agree.
You know what? I don't know if I'll be taking a brisk walk that day because I don't know what's gonna be happening outside.
Hope you got a big basement.
Anita comes back and says, I love you, Ann. Even though I'm not a Purple fan.
What?
Say that, Anita.
Anyway, next question. Whoop, Dexter. This is a biography. Hello, family. A good way to manage your emotions is identify your feelings. Try to understand what you're feeling, and you can use a feelings. You got a lot of feelings in there. Wheel to help identify your emotions.
Bruh, I'm gonna clap that.
He's been reading.
Identify your feelings. The way to control your emotions, identify your feelings. Bro, man, I clap you. I applaud you.
Yeah, thank you, Dexter.
So Anita comes back and says, I think a lot of emotions will surface as we get closer to the elections. Saints should not walk out of the church no matter who.
What is he talking about? What? What are you talking about?
Because she's referring to when the speaker came to our church and they mentioned a political person's name, and the person.
Yeah.
Some people got upset and they walked out the sanctuary because of that. So.
Yeah, they did. My bad. Okay.
Yeah, you know what? It's a shame, but we had the same thing in our anniversary. Nobody walked out. But I did have to say to the folks that Sunday, just because he said doesn't mean we have to listen to it. Because he said something that was kind of just a little bit off, right? He said, if you vote for somebody who believes in this, this, and this, and you're going to hell. And we're like, that's not true. But that was interesting. All right.
Okay, Holly. Yes, you're right.
We know.
Yeah, Jesus wept. Thank you, Holly.
Hey, have you ever had to be in like a Bible verse challenge and you couldn't remember, so you just use that scripture to help you out? What's your Jesus wept?
That's it. Leave it be.
In England, we have to use that, and we use it alphabetical order. So every week, 1 week we start with A, next week B, until we go on. So every time someone came up to J, it's like 5 people had Jesus wept. So we're like, oh, you ain't find no scripture. There we go.
Go ahead. The seniors are on point. That's
yes.
true. We love our seniors. We love our seniors.
Yes, we do.
I thought God gave
everyone emotions.
I'll read that again, and I'll say it loud. I thought God, in my preacher's voice, I thought God gave everyone emotions.
Hallelujah. Woo! My Ernell Lawrence voice.
Shame on you, Simon.
On you, Simon.
About what? About the baby?
Crying the second time.
I'm fine now because I know he's out there.
Crying on the second child. That's what a shame on. But hey, but so we went through it. So please have more comments and questions. We're looking for questions. But what? Let's say why? When is it okay to be over emotional? We talk about the issues, but when is it okay to be over emotional?
I think a good point back to again when your kids achieve a major milestone in their life, you achieve a major milestone in your life. To me, those are great ordeals right there to be overly emotional. I mean, you look at some graduations, man. I kind of laugh when they tell you, please be quiet until every student is announced. Hey,
we looking back to the second one, yeah.
And they completely dismissed what they said in the beginning. Please hold your applause until the end of the ceremony. Nobody does that. So why do they even make that announcement?
Yeah, but I think in today's society, I mean, when you go and watch your kids now, if you don't make no noise for your child, the child or someone's going to say, why didn't you cheer for him? Why didn't you say something? Or your child might say, I didn't hear you. So, I mean, so that's a big difference also is when you go out, but and especially when someone buys their house
oh yes
for the first time,
yes, or
someone gets a new car, their very first car, and then you sit in your car for like half an hour. My car, I got my car. I've been waiting so long to get this car. So I mean that's positive emotions right there.
Or that emotion when you get dumped.
Why you gotta go? We're only positive here. You get dumped. What in the world?
That's a serious emotion right there. Some people don't recover from it, man.
That's a bad emotion. Thank you. Lean back, Rupert, because I didn't even know what to say to him.
You propose to somebody and say no.
No, why you gotta say that?
All I can think of is that first person that you like and they don't like you. Oh my God. You talk to yourself for about 2 days. Just
you done bought them flowers, you done bought them chocolate, you paid for their movie, you paid for their food, and they turn around and say, I don't like you. You're my friend. We're just good friends, but I don't like you like that.
That's what I'm going to say. You just said it. I don't like you like that. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't like you like that. What do you mean?
Give me back my money. Give me back my plane ticket. Give me back my dinner. Give me back the flowers.
You talk to yourself with so much emotion. I'm not that bad. I'm pretty good guy. Why'd you do that to me? You can't talk to your friends. Your friends say, what happened between you and so forth? Man, shut up, man. Shut up.
Well, you just said something. I'm preparing that emotion you have when you're applying for it, when you're at a job interview. Preparing for that because you don't know what the outcome is going to be. So your emotions are getting all worked up. I think my greatest emotion was going through my ordination, man, because you had all those different bishops.
He was grilled.
You were grilled. And at the end, one of the bishops just said, be ready. I said, well, did I pass? They would not tell you if you passed or not. You had to wait back in the day. You had to wait until that high service of convocation, then announce whether or not you made it. I drove home from that ordination, man. My emotions were all over the place. I was like, I was a wreck. I was like, this was worse than going to a job interview.
Okay.
Hey, Rupert, I know for a fact. I don't know how many bishops are watching, but I know for a fact I ain't going in that room because I know I ain't getting it.
Okay, so
I don't even bother. I love you all, but I just know I'm not going to get it.
That
First
is a
of all-
grueling experience, man.
first of all, I am a confident person to begin with. So when I went to that room, my confidence level was up. So I made sure that I just said, you know what? I know everybody here. I know every single person here.
But they act like they didn't know you. That's the thing.
Mhm.
Well, they ask questions they don't know you because the first question that one of the bishops asked me, now, I am my father's son. My mother would watch me. She knew everything about me. He said, do you tithe? I said,
I got that one too.
I said, what?
I think you must have got it from the same person. We'll talk
I'm sure.
offline.
I'm
You
sure.
got it from the same person.
I'm sure. And I said to him, do you know who my mother is? That was my answer. I said, do you know who my mother is? Of course I tithe. But man, you are right. When I was done, but my pressure more was, man, if I fail, I'm a bishop's son. What the heck happens then? What
Yes.
happens next? I was more concerned about failing and letting my dad down than letting me down. And I was just like, oh man. And I did have emotions, but thank God when I was walking in the hallway, one of the bitches passed by me and said, you're okay. Don't gotta worry about anything.
Well, at least you got that. I didn't get that.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
I didn't get that.
Hey, he didn't tell you though he was standing outside the room waiting for him to come out.
What's happening? What's going on?
Well, that goes to Ken's question right there. You basically answered it. Says, how many people don't get it? And then what do? We know some people went through that process and they didn't make it. They just came back the following year.
It got tougher over the years.
It did.
Because I remember when I went, there was a couple of people that shouldn't have made it and made it. And I found out later on that their pastor had to vouch for them.
No, that's not.
And see, some of the people I thought should have made it and didn't. I was like, really?
Yeah.
I was shocked because I thought they should have got it.
Yeah, so it gets tougher over the time because like when we did, I think there was just a booklet you had to study. Now you got to take a class. If you don't take a class, all this different stuff. So it's a little bit different, but yeah, a lot of people don't make it. And again, just because you're an elder or a minister and you pass that doesn't mean you're going to go to the next level. Unfortunately,
Exactly.
It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
You're right, Stan. Stan, you're right.
It was
You
traumatic.
guys got to sit.
Oh, he was sitting.
I got to sit.
I was sitting.
I had to walk.
I
Boy,
was seated. I was seated.
I was not seated. I had to stand. And you know what made it worse? Was they coming late on purpose. I will tell you who does it. And I hope he's listening. Bishop Stokes, I know you coming late on purpose. I remember, Bishop.
Well, see, was yours in the morning? Mine was the last one in the afternoon.
No, mine was it was in the morning. I remember what number I was, but I just
He must have
remember
been number 1 or 2.
I was in. No, I think he left because I'm sitting there. I'm standing there waiting. Then he comes strolling in. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm late. Let's get started. I'm like, oh,
No, mine were on time because he was the one who brought me in. He was like, they're gonna act like they don't know you. So, and when I walked, I was like, oh, this is the board.
man. So he said, Rupert, maybe to fix this. You know what? You do. I will say this. It's not a joke. This is the truth. You do have an extra. My dad being on the board of bishops helps. It does not hurt.
Favoritism in the church.
You know, it is favoritism, but there is favoritism. There's an but there's also an expectation, right? So I still have to make sure I know my stuff. But if you're close, they're not going to kill you. But if you bomb on your 5-minute sermon, they're not going to let you in. They're not going to give you all this.
True.
But if you don't answer a certain question the way they were looking for, but it was close, they may let it slide. So, you know, it's just the way it is. It's not, there it is. It's not you, it's me. Oh, yeah. when that girl says she don't like you, it's not you, it's me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ann, for making that nice. I thank you for that.
Whoa.
That's crazy. Do Bishop's
Bishop's
kids ever
kids
fail?
ever
Of course.
Of course they do.
Of course.
They're not immune.
They're and again, you're not a Bishop's kid can fail again. Like if I said there's certain things they don't answer well. Like if you give a 5-minute sermon and it's horrible, they're not going to pass you because again, they know you don't only represent yourself, you represent their parent when you go to the pulpit, and you also represent the organization because you're part of UCJC. Mm-hmm. If they pass a bum, it's not good for them. I'm not saying you're a bum, but you know what I mean. If you pass somebody who's uneducated in something that should be educated in at that level, they can't pass you. So there are certain things that, yeah, you could fail. Do they fail? I don't know. Because if a bishop's kid is at that level where they're going up for elder, that means they really were behind their father or their mother, and they should have enough knowledge to be able to get through it.
I think one of the major emotions I think all of us sharing is when our family is out and they're not home at a certain time, your emotions start playing tricks on you. It's like, okay, what happened? How come they're not home? It's like you don't go to sleep until you hear them coming through the door.
Yeah.
And that emotion is very hard to manage because your emotions can make you go out in left field when really it's not that issue. But again, being parents like we are, if your loved ones are out there, your emotions do run wild.
Because a lot of times I will text, are you good? Everything okay? Are you good? And hopefully you get that reply. And like you said, sometimes if you don't get the reply, you can't even go to sleep.
No.
Because you're like, wait a minute. I know where you are. What, you going to answer me? And it could be something minor, but yeah.
Yeah, I can't go see until my wife comes home. Like I'll lay in bed watching TV, trying to fall, and it's not happening. I just have to wait until I hear her come through that door. I'm like, I can't go to sleep. And it's my children, you know, it depends on where they're going. Most of the time we're waiting. We text, and then my wife will wake up. Did Fourth to come home? You know, we have to go check the room. If she's not home or he's not home, we get a little bit panicky, and then texts go out. But yeah, it's an emotion that is tough.
It was a gimme that if my kids, when it was home, it was a gimme. I'm not going to sleep until you get in the door.
Right.
Without a fact, they know that I'm not sitting at the door now.
I get you.
I'm not sitting at the door, but I'm waiting, and I'm waiting until they get, especially when you give them time.
Yeah.
To come in.
Yeah.
But that's that emotion.
Yeah.
That emotion and adrenaline. It's all combined together.
That's more.
You got 2 minutes.
That's more like you better be listening to me.
Right. It's like the episode with Bill Cosby when Vanessa was out.
Yeah.
And they turned the sofa around facing the
door.
Waiting for her to come through. And they talking about, no, we're waiting for the snowstorm. Wanted to watch it.
Okay. As a child, when I was overly concerned about something, my mom would always say, pray about it. Yeah. So children, we even talk about children having a lot of emotions and having so much emotion. Yeah. But children, we have to watch our children, especially today with the mental illness coming out, the depression rate, certain things that they go through. They do get emotional, and sometimes these things can cause things later on. So we have to watch our children. But yes, our parents to say pray about it. And we don't know what if you got rejected, you know what to pray about. God, make me better. I don't know, make me more handsome. Make me more fun. I don't know. Why is she like me, Lord? I don't know what you're gonna say.
Oh, I know one thing that we both have in common. He can't be late. That emotion. No. Look, even my kids will come up there.
No.
Can't stand to be late.
No.
Can't do it. I'm sorry.
I mean, like he said,
and I'm always late.
Well, like I said, be on the show at 7 and they don't show up to 7:25. That's just unacceptable.
Rupert, that's why I said me and him, Rupert. You listening? That's why I said both of us.
I said I'm always late. I don't look, man. I was the dude who would get to the airport and have to rush through security asking them, hey, my flight's in an hour. Can I go through real quick? Because I got something else I can do. I could put this, I could do this. And then when I start, I gotta finish it, and I'm late. Like the reason why today I'm not at my home, I'm at the office, is because I didn't get out in time, and I would have been even more late. So, amen.
Well, just like yesterday, you said you had to be somewhere by. It starts at 6. You said you'll get there by 6:30.
Yeah.
Well, if it starts at 6, why you gonna get there at 6:30?
Yeah.
Not putting you on blast, sir, but I'm like,
Yo,
why get there at
because I know I
6:30
had
when
a
it starts
meeting.
at 6?
I had a 4 o'clock meeting, and I knew that the 4 o'clock meeting was
No, I'm
going to
sorry.
run.
I'm putting him on blast. We go to New Jersey
Oh,
to
my
play soccer
goodness.
golf. And we there, and he live in New Jersey.
He the host.
And he the host. What?
I was on time. Wait, I was on time. I was after you, but we started on time. We didn't start late, did we?
Yes, we did.
Oh no,
He did start.
no! I waited for Sergio. I was on time.
Oh,
I had to wait.
The guy
We had to
gave
wait
us
for Sergio.
grace. He said we don't have to go out just yet because he knew we're waiting for you guys to show up. Anyway,
Sorry. Anyway, another very emotional day away. This rush hour. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Wait, there's one. Yes, but if the family's out, that is worry and emotion. No, worry is not the emotion. Fear is the emotion. Fear, anger, all sorts of things is emotion, but not worry. I don't think worry is an emotion. It could be though.
all right, you messing with me now, Stan. Another very emotional time when we deal with
It's
this
rush hour. 495
Woo! That's another show by itself.
by itself. 490 sitting in your car.
Where's is Kim on here? Because just driving can be a
Just drive. Oh yes, driving
just
alone.
driving an emotional event. I know that
Yes.
Yes, and
doesn't cause
lateness
stress for
does
me.
cause stress.
Not for me.
She said lateness. Well, yeah,
I know.
okay.
Lateness is not in your vocabulary, Ruben. That's what it is. See.
Mm.
No, being as close to on time as possible is what I think about. I really
Having a
do.
sense of humor and laughing is a great emotion.
Wait, is that up there? I don't see that one. Where's that one?
No, I just said it.
He just added in the
I
mix.
just added it in there.
But that is
Well,
a great
that's it.
emotion.
Hey guys, we got 45 seconds.
Yep.
Wow, this was a good show.
Yep.
Went by fast. We had a lot of fun and serious at one point or another. But we hope you guys learned that manage your emotions is a good thing.
And if you really want to see a video or really want to look about emotions, just type in on YouTube Dallas Cowboy fans, and you'll see a whole lot of emotions. I'm sorry. I had to do it. I'm sorry.
Shots fired.
You know,
Oh, he's silent.
you know what? I'm gonna say this. I just remember last year when the Ravens played the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, we were sad.
Nobody
yeah, we
was
were.
emotional. Let's
Very emotional. Yes, he was.
Okay, so
Because we
But
didn't do
anyway.
what we're supposed to do. But anyway,
Stay tuned next
thank
week.
you everybody for joining in. Appreciate you. We love you all.
All right. Next week, you hear us say,
you're welcome.
look, he late again. Late
You even
again.
do it
welcome.
yet.
You're late.
Wait, you didn't even do it yet. How can
All
I
right.
be late?
Stay tuned next week. You hear us
No,
say, good night, everybody.
Good night. Cut it off. Cut it
You're
off.
welcome, everybody.
Cut.